And we're back. Yo, what's good, YouTube? Right back at it, doing another video, another live stream real quick. And today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe how the office environment and the sports environment are one and the same. The same characteristics that you have in sports are the same ones that you will have in the office. So I'm going to go through a couple of key points that I wrote down that I just want to discuss with you guys and see what you guys, you know, see what you guys like. Don't forget to leave a comment, subscribe for your professional development needs from an auditing perspective using sports, trending topics, things of that nature. Anybody who's worked in the office environment knows sports are key. I don't care where you work at, but sports has a big thing to do with your office. I don't care if you're like an NFL fan. Like I remember every single Monday, I used to talk to my coworker about sports every single Monday. Every football Monday, we always would have a discussion about sports. And like, look at it right now. You have the Ravens versus the Steelers. Great game. Whichever team advances to the playoffs, great game. And I've seen coworkers beef over sports teams, Redskins and Cowboys, Lakers and Celtics, things of that nature. So sports has a big part to play in the office environment and our just day-to-day environments. We all have kids. Our kids are in sports. A lot of us are coaches, things of that nature, especially my audience. You know, I have the older crowd. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, share this page out, and also leave a comment. Leave a comment and chat. I will be reading all the chats that I see. And let's get to it. So I want to discuss. So yeah, sports and the office environment are so similar. One of the most important aspects is the teamwork. You have your sports teams and you have your work teams. We all want to succeed. We all want to make sure that, you know, we win. Even if, like, all right, look at it like this. You have Pepsi and Coke. If you're on the Pepsi team, you want to make sure your team wins. If you're on the Coca-Cola team, you want to make sure your team wins. You're always competing with somebody. And sometimes you're competing with your fellow coworkers for that one job, for that one supervisor position. Like sports, like I look at it like this, like even at work, you have your starting quarterback and you have your backup quarterback. The backup quarterback, yo, hello, how you guys doing? I will be reading the chats that you guys come in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. But like I was saying, like in sports, you might have your starting quarterback, you might have your backup quarterback. The backup quarterback, you never want him to be a hater. That's like a coworker that hates on you. Also, leave a comment. Thanks for subbing. Also, leave a comment if you think that work team and the office team are very similar. Like I said, sports are a big thing, especially in the office environment. Like I said, the NFL season just ended. Let me tell you something. In most offices in America, you're going to have people talking about football. Male, female, it doesn't matter. Sometimes you could get in trouble at your job. Well, not get in trouble, but you can have beef with fellow coworkers just because of the team you like. You always have that one coworker that comes up, you know, comes decked out in his Steelers uniform, Ravens uniform, things of that nature. But like I was saying, the first aspect that I do want to discuss is teamwork. You gotta be a part of a team. You gotta win. Like I said, your company might be Coca-Cola, the other company might be Pepsi. At the end of the day, both of you guys are competing against each other. So you want to make sure that your team wins, and it has to be about any means necessary. A lot of times, like you never really want to deal with a hater. So like I was saying earlier, you might have the starting quarterback. The starting quarterback and the backup quarterback should be very close to best friends. And the reason why I say that is because you never want the backup quarterback to be a hater. That's like your fellow coworker. Both of you guys had the same job. Both of you guys are doing the same thing, but you have that one promotion and you get it or your fellow coworker doesn't get it. So that's where the hate comes in. And all of a sudden they might be sabotaging you. So when it comes to the office environment, you never really want to deal with haters. Same thing with sports. You want your team to all want each other to win by any means necessary. Like if you ever play basketball, you might have a teammate who scores 50 points, but the team loses. That's a loss for the team. It doesn't matter. Like me as an auditor, if you don't know, I'm an auditor, been auditing for 20 years. Me as an auditor, I remember in my agency, I had a great year, but my individual team was failing. So guess what happened? My great year doesn't mean anything because, hey, how you guys doing? How you guys doing, YouTube? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share this video out. Let's continue to grow. If you don't know who I am, my name is Ade. I'm an auditor for 20 years. Been doing this for a long time. Been in the office environment for an extremely long time. Oh, thanks. Make sure you sub and make sure you share this page out. But like I said, all right, have you ever had a team that scored, you had a player, all right, let's look at it like this. Since it's football season, you have a quarterback. He threw for 500 yards, but his team lost. It doesn't matter what you did. It doesn't matter how good you done as an employee. If your team loses, if your team doesn't get the victory, if your job is failing, you end up failing. And that's why I want to bring that correlation is it's all about teamwork. One way that you guys could do better and have a better morale is to help your fellow coworkers out. You never want your team to lose. It's all about the team. Like am I colorblind? No, I'm not colorblind. Why do you say that? 14 days, 100. No, I'm not colorblind. Yeah, you always want your team to win at any cost. So sometimes it might be you taking a back seat so your quarterback could win, or you making sacrifices so your fellow employee could win. So you always want to make sure that individual stats never works out for the team because you end up losing. So you never want to be that employee who hates on another employee. You never want to be that employee who only cares about yourself because yeah, you never want to be that employee. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yes, I'm speaking facts because I've experienced this thing. I've been an employee where I got my job done, but everybody else was lacking. Guess what happened? We failed as a team. Guess what happened? I didn't get no promotion. Nothing like that. I look like Beetlejuice from Howard Stern. Hey, it is what it is. Make sure you subscribe. Yeah, so yeah, you just want to make sure that whatever sacrifice that you have to do so your team could win, make sure you do it because you just never know. You just never want your team, you never want to do good and then your team do bad. So whatever sacrifice that you have to do, helping your fellow coworkers out, taking a back seat so another coworker could succeed, whatever you have to do. Like me, like I do trainings at my job. So sometimes when I'm on a roll, I'm building good morale with the training, with the at the seminar that we're training at. My fellow coworkers might have to take a back seat, or sometimes my coworker might have a better morale with the audience, so I'll take a back seat. You just never know, but teamwork is key. The second point is coaching. You always want to be coachable. You want to make sure that you are coachable, but also too, a bad coach can mess up the team. A bad supervisor could mess up morale, point blank. Like I've had so many good supervisors and I've had bad supervisors, and it's night and day. Good supervisors encourage you. Bad supervisors disrespect you. Good supervisors speak positive words. Bad supervisors speak negative words. Good supervisors help build you up. Never want to see you down. Bad supervisors just yell and berate you and easily get upset. So coaching is key. Same thing in the NFL. Like in the NFL, Shador Sanders, the quarterback for the Browns, he had a horrible coach. His coach was damn near hating on him. That's why his coach got fired. His coach got fired because he was a horrible coach. Yeah, he was a horrible coach, point blank. Like, you can have coaches hating on you as well. So coaching is key, especially if your coach isn't on your side. It's a bad look. Like I've had supervisors. I remember when I first started, we had this one supervisor. Upper management always loved me at my job, like point blank. I was always able to relate with them. They always, encourage me. always wanted me to succeed, but I always had supervisors. Some of them was haters. I had this one supervisor. This man, um, this man would hate. And I remember like the supervisor's like, yo, I want you to go ahead and work with Ade. He's a new auditor, blase, blah, work with him. And he just wouldn't. He was always hating on me, always trying to berate me. Same thing like Shador Sanders. Shador Sanders, not saying that he's a great quarterback, but I think he's decent. He could have definitely had a better season if he had a coach that will believe in him. So yes, you all right. Let me read this comment. You can be coachable, but the coach got to do what they supposed to do. That is true. So it's a balance when you're dealing with coaches. Yeah, some coaches, you got to have a balance. You got to know what works with your team and which type of environment. Like, you just got to know that. Like, and I think it's just really a balance. You got to be stern, respectful, but also too, you have to be able to build morale. Like I said, Shador Sanders. Yo, don't forget to subscribe, follow the page, share this video out. Professional development using real world tips that we all can use. I will be reading comments, so leave your comments in the chat and we'll continue to build. But yeah, like I said, bad coaching is horrible for a team. You're going to lose. It's the same thing. Having a bad supervisor is horrible for the work environment. You're going to lose. So, but I will say this, like Matt Palat said, you got to be coachable. You do have to be coachable. And that's what I said earlier, too. You can be that star player. You can drop 50 points. But if your team loses because you didn't play defense, it doesn't matter. So you always want to be coachable and, just be coachable and knowledgeable. Our third point that I want to bring out is performance. Always want to make sure you keep track. You always want to make sure that you keep track of your stats. In the NFL, if you have so many wins as a quarterback, or if you have so many sacks, if you have so many touchdowns, you got to keep track of your stats because that's how you get paid. The same thing at work. When I'm working, everything extra that I do, I make sure that I document it and I make sure I let my manager and upper management know, like, yo, this is what I did. Like I said, I'm an auditor. I travel from state to state all the time. And I remember in order for us to finish a task early, not even finish a task early, but we had some very important documents that need to be at the office. They didn't want it to fly. They didn't want to FedEx it. So I had to drive 10 hours from my location back into my office. So I had to wake up at 4 a.m. You think I didn't let the management know, upper management know my stats? Man, you're crazy. Same thing as sports. When you do things above and beyond, you want to make sure that you document your stats. That's how you get raises. That's how you get bonus. So same way in sports, you want to make sure that all stats are measured. Evaluations. Like my favorite time of the year is when I do evaluations because I'm documenting every single thing. Every time I picked up somebody else's shift, every time that I've done something extra above and beyond, I'm making sure that I'm tracking those stats. So make sure you do that too. The same thing with sports. You got certain players that go ahead and get bonuses. I know yesterday it was a player in the NFL that got some sort of bonus. He literally played like one half. He didn't have to play, but he ended up playing just so he could get that bonus. I forgot, I want to say it was the Bills quarterback, just so he could get that bonus. Same thing with the office. The fourth point that I want to bring up is adjusting. Like I said, I travel a lot and I do have to make adjustments. Like I told you guys, we had some documents that didn't want to be shipped, so I had to drive. That's making an adjustment. When I'm going on travel, sometimes when I'm in a different office, I have to work 10 hours, maybe even 12 hours to make sure that I get done at a certain time. That's making adjustments. Same thing in football, same thing in basketball. You could be down, losing. You make that halftime adjustment, that third quarter adjustment, and the other team has no answers for it. Same thing in business, same thing in the office. So make an adjustment, changing priorities, budgets, switch ups, all of those things play a huge role in your office and work environments. So, keep that in mind. Being able to make adjustments just like they do in sports, just like in boxing too. You ever watch a boxing match and a boxing just switches up from regular to southpaw, and then now he's kicking ass? That's what you got to do at work. Sometimes you just got to be able to make adjustments. And an example is maybe how you talk to other coworkers. Maybe you are that supervisor. You need to make an adjustment. Maybe you need to be more stern, more direct, something like that. Well, you always want to make sure you're making some sort of adjustment. You want to be coachable. And the fifth thing that's special to my heart is professional development and practice. I love Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant to me is definitely in the top three. To me, he's like top one or two. Like, I love his game. But Kobe was a gym rat. He stayed in the gym. He always practiced. He always sharpened his game. Same thing that you have to do in the office environment. At work, you want to make sure you sharpen your game. You always want to make sure that you're better. Even with me, been auditing for 20 years, but I'm always sharpening my game, always trying to get better. And now I'm in the YouTube space. I'm trying to share my experience with you guys. So I'm trying to work on my speaking and being more clear and more direct and making better eye contact, all of those type of things. So I'm always training. I'm always trying to get better. Same thing. That's why I love YouTube, because YouTube has so many different videos where you can learn, grow, and just get better every single day. Same thing in sports. You want to train. LeBron James is infamous for training like early in the AM, like real early in the morning. Like before the team gets their first practice, LeBron has already practiced 2 times. Now I remember the Team USA documentary where Kobe, well, like all the guys went out to the club. Well, Kobe didn't go to the club. He went to the gym to train. Just like that song, "You wasn't with me shooting in the gym." Same thing in the office environment, same thing at work. Get your shots up, train, get better every single day. Whatever you have to do, you know what it is. You know what your job is. Make sure you leave a comment and let me know. So that's where I conclude. So once you treat your job like a sport and have the same mentality, that the same players that you root for, you have the same mentality as you do in the office, you're going to win. I'm always trying to win every single day, and you should too. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, Professional Development with Ade, where I'm tying in sports, trending topics, auditing tips, work tips, and how it relates to you. Peace out. Make sure you leave a comment, share this video out. Peace.